Reggie John to see if I could shine a light on air cargo. And now that we finally, after 30 years of exporting our flowers and our cuttings by air, we come now in the situation with the second mode of logistics coming up, that no doubt we need to position air cargo as a premium logistic mode. And I even dare to say that all sea freight cannot be successful with nothing but fantastic, excellent air cargo. The two have to work together, or ships might delay every now and then. We need air cargo and storage to sort those delays out. I would like to take you through a few ideas, a few insights on how I think we can position air cargo as a premium logistic mode, what needs to be done where we are, and more importantly, and that's where I would hope to take the questions, is what value is there to be unlocked when we get that air cargo, to unlock the full potential of air cargo. Shortly on FlowerWatch, a bit of technical explanation. Then with FlowerWatch, we have a new platform monitoring Kenya's flower cold chains, cutting cold chains, vegetable cold chains. I'll share you some data. A few times it's all anonymous. I will highlight 2 or 3 of our customers who have achieved fantastic results. All the other stuff will be completely anonymous. No worries there. But then especially value to be unlocked. And I think I'd like to take you some ideas on packaging, on storage, and on value adding. But this is FlowerWatch. We are a service provider to the flower industry. We're not involved in the trade, production, or logistics ourselves. We can be seen as the SDS of flower business, with a almost Bloomberg platform to give you the insight in how well these flower supply chains are performing. Is a data-driven insight, which can be facility audits, which can be farm audits, which can be vast life tests, which can be quality checks. If it has importance for the performance of your flower supply chain, we are there to check it on your behalf. But with all that knowledge and with all that insight, I believe there is fantastic opportunities to do better, to reduce our footprint, to have better quality, to unlock new opportunities for value adding, landing another 20,000 jobs in Kenya, but also saving on labor on the European side. Then the third service that we offer is the FlowerWatch Quality Alliance. Companies that provide a service or product into the flower supply chain and that are provenly meeting all standards can join this Quality Alliance. I think if we have the best box in flower business, it won't work if the freight forwarders' cold rooms are not working. The best box and the best freight forwarder in Nairobi, if there's an airport somewhere in Europe with a 24-hour delay, there's no value. And if the buckets on the farm were not cleaned anyway, there's still no value. It's all about stacking all the measures we can. And maybe just to show you, to demonstrate you, and a few of you have seen these videos before. There's a few new people in the room. But this is red roses from Kenya on Valentine's Day. Right, you can see the days counting. And this is fast life at the lady who has just received those flowers. So on Valentine's Day, the biggest peak day in the year for flower business, to deliver red roses from Nanyuki Timau area with 14 days fast life, that is a fantastic achievement for all of us. Now, next day, one of my friends, a bit shy, trying to discuss if he was going to buy flowers for the new girl he was eyeing. Can I buy flowers? And I said, yes, go ahead. So same day, same farm, just a different flight. And that relation never worked out anything beyond that Valentine's Day. I'm very confident that after 3 years of COVID, there will be many students planning to impress their girlfriends by Valentine's Day. We need to sort out our cold chain issues. Just to show you what cold chain can do. We have developed a model to measure cold chain performance in degree hours. The average temperature over time will give us 40 hours of air cargo at 5 degrees is 200 degree hours. I think that's fantastic. 1 day shelf life in the shop, 24 hours, 20 degrees is 480 degree hours. I think that is where we find an opportunity to measure cold chain performance and to link it to shelf life, to link it to vast life, to link it to something that we can measure and that we can actually put money to. 60 hours of transport at 9 degrees. And we're getting close to it 700 degree hours. And let me just show you the difference. Well, you have to take my word for it, and there's some other people who have seen the slides before. Flowers on the left with 200 degree hours, perfectly fine. Flowers on the right are just simply not good enough. Last chance. And they will die early. The shop will not even sell them. The young man impressing his girlfriend will not have any success. With FlowerWatch, we're lending all kind of data on flower supply chains. We've worked with a technology partner to deliver a new type of data loggers. We can simply tap it with your phone to start it, and any customer of you anywhere in the world can tap it again with their smartphone, and we have the results landing in our database. In that database, and I can just take you to that database right now, this is where all our measurements are landing. And every time here we will state that less than 300 degree hours is fantastic and is achievable. And I think that is a service level that anyone shipping cuttings, flowers, fruit, veg can demand and should demand from their forwarders, airlines and ground handlers. 300 to 500, you're still safe. 500 to 700, be careful, you start losing money. 700 to 1,000 degree hours, trouble. 10% of the value of your shipment lost. Over 1,000 degree hours, prepare to give a full payout to your customer who is not happy with the quality upon arrival. Now, the best what we can do, and this is actual Nairobi data, and just a quick graph, this is 24 hours, this is 48 hours, this is 60 hours. And we can see the flower farm cooling flowers here to 1 degree early on, at the freight forwarder 3-4 degrees, a rapid cool down, a make cool step before pelletizing, and the flowers arrive in Netherlands at 6 to 8 degrees. So excellent farm, forwarder receiving it, crisscrossing it, making it cool, ground handler doing okay, airline doing okay. This is what we can find. The new competition, do you want to see how good sea freight can be? For sea freight, we've set the boundaries on degree hours a bit wider. And ladies and gentlemen in air cargo, this is your new benchmark to beat. 700 degree hours after 45 days in transport. This is what sea freight can do. Unfortunate. So good is possible, but we have to be aware that with delays, with packaging issues, with temperature issues, about half of Kenya's air cargo, sea freight is not yet here. The leaders are here. There's more farms following. But this is for air cargo the new benchmark to meet. Just showing one other shipment here. Fantastic cooling early on at the farm. Delivery here. And this is another airline. And here we can see a ground handler with a cold room at 20 degrees. I'm not going to ask anyone to raise hands, but there is someone in Nairobi that forgot to pull the flowers in, or that had the doors open, or that had their units under repair. We also have an airline with a cargo hold at 12 degrees. But still the flowers arrive somewhere 8 to 12. We're still safe, we're still okay. But this is now where we're also depending on the European side of the supply chain. And here we are, a farm with really good cold rooms, but the process is not good enough. The cold rooms are okay, but the flowers and the cuttings are not cooling. We have transport at 8 degrees. We have a forwarder who doesn't understand their game. They have excellent facilities, but their process is not correct, and the flowers remain warm. And all this time we're adding degree hours, we're losing quality and value. Then a very sound ground handler, working with a fantastic airline, with a cargo hold being the lowest, coldest point in the whole supply chain, delivering to Amsterdam at 6 degrees. This is the service level that you can get in Nairobi and that you should be asking for. Then something particular happening. While the flowers were delivered, arrived at 8 in the morning in Amsterdam, it took a full 50 hours before they were handled. So from Schiphol to Aalsmeer, it's about 3-4 kilometers. The flowers took 50 hours at an average of 10 degrees. And again, we can only be a true premium service if that first and that last mile are also under control. And I think that's a challenge that we have. There is a fantastic service level possible, which is truly a premium service. But if early on in the supply chain, or if the last mile is not working, we cannot unlock the value that that premium solution is offering. Ready for some serious stuff? This is something happening in Netherlands, in Kenya. We can see a farm early on doing really well. But all the good work in the farm is lost due to poor trucking. Flowers are delivered at 6 to 8 degrees. There's a good, strong make cool step, which can be vacuum cooling, pre-cooling, blast chilling. The important thing is that the forwarder should have make cool services. Then the push out to the air side, and there's someone again with a cold room. I have no idea what happened. We couldn't figure it out. But for sure, the flowers were left 3, 4, 5, 6 hours at around 20 degrees. Air cargo, the cargo hold at 15. We need to understand that this might happen, and we need to demand this as a service level, that this is all working. Again, the disaster wasn't too big up on arrival in the Netherlands because the flowers were only 12 degrees. But again, in Netherlands, from Amsterdam airport to Aalsmeer, 4 or 5 kilometers, flowers took 48 hours, or 24 hours in this case, at 7 degrees. And while the flowers were respiring, heating, producing their own heat, temperatures shot up overnight from 15 to 27 degrees. Any shippers here in the room? Anyone shipping flowers? Who's paying for the claim? I think let that be clear. The claim will come to the farm. And I think this is a process that we need to drive it, all of us. We have to set these standards. We have to make sure that we are meeting those standards and that we confirm those standards. I've one terrible one where Kenya is playing a fantastic role. Let's say on the farm we had a big issue, cold room fantastically cold, but dispatching still at 5 degrees. Make a cool step up on arrival at the airport, immediately to the flight, and the flight delivered early morning around 6, and we took 1, 2, 3, 4 days for the flowers to be handled. I think if you trace back the date, you might see it's a weekend shipment. So something arriving Friday morning might be handled Monday morning. We need to set service levels, we need to identify the KPIs, and we need to understand that anyone owning the product is the one paying, but there is solutions. I'd just like to take you back to that really fantastic service level. And I think this is where we've worked with a number of our partners on achieving this. We've identified, we've set together as in, we need to have a freight forwarder with the make cool facilities. We need to have a ground handler with keep cool facilities, and we need to have a ground handler with the shortest time to aircraft. We need to have an aircraft that has proper instructions for their pilots to put the settings there. I've had the opportunity a few times to go into the freighter to talk to the pilots. These guys are there to do a good job. But if you talk to them, no, we know about flowers. They need to be shipped at 10 degrees. IATA standards, 2 to 8, which is not of any use for all flowers because they're respirating. Fish, meat, pharmaceuticals, they're dead, they've never alive, but all flowers are alive, they breathe, and therefore we need to control the temperature. We have partners here working on Nairobi Airport, Kunenagel, with facilities accepting and a make cool step. We have partners with Total Touch, a make cool step up and arrival. In two, 3 different ways we can do that. We have ground handling by Total Touch, and I'll show you one of the pictures, and we have a partnership with Air France KLM Cargo to fully set the right standards and for FlowerWatch to monitor. Whenever it's not good, we raise the alert. Whenever it's there, we're giving out the compliments. But I think we have to be aware that early on, the farms, the trucking, the import handling in the Netherlands, the import handling in the UK and around Europe, that there might be stuff going wrong due to they've been successful. They've grown 300% in the last 12 years. So anyone who built new facilities as an import warehouse in 2008, in 2012, they've outgrown their facilities threefold. That's a serious risk that we have to face. Our business has been successful, and therefore, in Kenya, on the farms, on the airport, but specifically our business partners in Europe, they've outgrown their facility because all of us together are successful. In 2011, we shipped 2,500 tons weekly. Pre-COVID, we were shipping 5,400 tons weekly. I think that is just a success which is putting pressure on our supply chains. This is not about accusations, this is about putting it there that it's possible to achieve those service levels and that there's a value in those service levels. Because I think there is value to be unlocked with a premium cold chain, and to make sure that the premium cold chain, air cargo-wise, is also supported by premium farm and trucking solutions, but also premium handling solutions upon arrival. Just to give you an idea of what we've done on Nairobi Airport, these are 2 freighters parked there, and I've anonymized the tails, but I can tell you on the left, the aircraft, you can see the aircraft pallets arriving on the motorized dolly. This is flowers at 4 degrees going into the aircraft. This is fantastic. This is FFF handling with Air France KLM cargo, meeting the FlowerWatch standards. That other aircraft that you see in the distance is taking on board an aircraft pallet that has been outside a few hours before it was actually loaded, which was already at 12 degrees. And again, there's solutions possible. Let's work out the service level required. Let's understand the value of meeting that service level and then get it done. So this is what's happening on Jomo Kenyatta Airport every night. And this is something that we're just working out. We've brought in new equipment for our Kenyan team. We're just training them on how to take those pictures. We've already had our colleagues in Bogota accepting this new way of checking flower trucks upon arrival at the airport. If a truck unit is on, you can see here the outside compressor is releasing heat. So with our technology, we can now see if a truck has the unit running. So out of a row in Bogota Airport of 18 trucks, only one flower truck here had the unit running. We're just starting to train our team on Nairobi Airport to take pictures like this. We've been around 8 trucks in a row, another 10 trucks in a row. The challenge is that I've found one company with 12 trucks, all of them working, and the other times the 8 trucks or 10 trucks, none of them working. So I need to have a picture with this nice difference between on and off. I think this is what we have to be aware of, that even in Bogota, it's all third-party trucking companies, and they are not held accountable about delivery temperatures. In Nairobi, there's one company offering trucking services. There's now a bonus for their drivers based on our system, that if the unit's been on, there's a bonus for them. So there's no more temptation to do anything else with diesel in a cooling unit. There's just a bonus for delivering a fantastic service. Just as a bit of insight, I can talk about this topic for another 2 days if you want me to. Reggie, any other spots that you need to fill up? But let me go to value unlocked. I think we live in an industry in Naivasha, South Lake Road. There's a whole lot of rose production. You go up towards the escarpment, towards the Aberdares, Orkelau, Romeruti. There's loads of summer flowers. Now, what on earth is it that in Netherlands, where we have shortage of labor, we're taking the South Lake Road roses, the North Lake Road and the Aberdares summer flowers, and we mix them into bouquets. So in Netherlands, we are short of workers. We take flowers from South Lake Road, we ship them. We have summer flowers from North Lake Road. We take workers from Eastern Europe, and we do the bouquet making. Under the roof of the auction in Aalsmeer, there's maybe 10, 12,000 jobs in bouquet making. I believe it has to do with irregular quality and temperatures upon arrival that we can't rely, and therefore we can't do the value adding. With fantastic cold chain services, consistent and within the 300 degree hours, Kenya is ready to pick up that value adding. And maybe you need 3 Kenyan workers to have one job in Netherlands cut out. But I'm quite confident that we can land another 20,000 jobs in this industry. But we need a fantastic cold chain, and we have the best forwards and airlines all around. But it's aligning all of our services and being clear what needs to be achieved, make it measurable. Another development that we see coming. This is actually a project of the Holland Flower Alliance. This is followed by quite a few other developments. 35 years ago, Ozarian started exported flowers. And Mr. Zwager, the late Mr. Zwager, identified a box. That is my box. And that box is still 35 later, the Kenyan standard box. If I go with a tape measure into the cold rooms in Kenya, in Nairobi, I find at least 50 different versions of the standard box. And they all have one thing in common. No fit on the aircraft pallet, no fit on auction trolleys, no fit on block pallets, no fit on Euro pallets, no fit on Dennis trolleys. We can do better. The models used here is 1 meter by 120, which is block pallets, which is auction trolleys, which fits aircraft pallets. We can make better use of aircraft, and we can get more flowers in the lower deck, more kilos, but also more kilos with less handling and therefore less packaging material. I think for the shippers here, your cost of handling boxes on the market is about 45 cents a box to take it from the aircraft pallet and do the sorting and put it on an auction trolley. No doubt these rates since COVID have gone up 10, 20%, So we should be somewhere 55 cents a box. 55 cents a box, 280 to 300 boxes on a pallet. Every pallet, 150 euro, sorting it out. We can do it with a forklift, 12 minutes, one guy. It's possible, and these boxes can be designed in such a way there's no risk of self-heating, and therefore we can just store those flowers. And currently there's plans and discussions about building automated box sorting systems. I think that's it's a possible way out. You have too much labor, so you build a machine that does the labor for you. We can also change the box and have more kilos with a better net to gross, with a lower carbon footprint, with less packaging costs inside the same aircraft. But value to be unlocked, and I think this is where sea freight meets air freight. Every now and then with sea freight, the once-a-week arrivals, every now and then we have a delay. But I believe, just like sea freight, currently it's short. Shipping this week, you arrive over Christmas. Nobody wants to have flowers over Christmas. 2 weeks from now, you ship your container, it arrives in for Valentine's Day. Fantastic. But we can also start shipping, playing this game with air freight. If we have our flowers arriving at Amsterdam airport or one of the other airports 6 to 8 degrees, your flowers can be stored, can be treated sea freight style, can be packed sea freight style, can be stored sea freight style. Somehow, any other perishable product has positions in the supply chain where it's put on hold in a warehouse. A few days, a few weeks. In our flower business, somehow we never thought of putting flowers on a standstill. Miami has those facilities, holding 10, 20, 30 different plane loads in one warehouse. Dutch flower business, European flower business, those warehouses are not there. But with fantastic cold chain, with fantastic packaging, that warehousing can be there. And instead of all keep holding our flowers and the airline suffering from debt freight just 3 weeks before Valentine and having a Valentine surcharge in the last week before Valentine, we can start shipping early because freshness is measured in degree hours. And I think that is 3. And if you want to discuss it more, I think there's another 10 opportunities that we can put on the table. But with this boxes, with this storage, with this value adding, I think that's opportunities that our industry should not leave on the table. It's time to pick them up. And I think we have the facilities, we have the aircraft, we have the dedicated people. It's aligning our efforts, putting in scientific-based, worthwhile, measurable and achievable standards. Reggie, I'm in time. Questions?
What are some of the opportunities for improvement in the first mile that you see? What are the big areas?
I would say opportunities in Kenya for the first mile is that, one, assure that everyone has a truck that can deliver cool, with or without a unit, but maximum 1.5 degree increase between farm and airport. That's your standard. There's farms who are delivering in non-refrigerated trucks, which was fine when they were SIF, one drop off in the airport, but today they are an FOB shipper. They have 10 deliveries in the airport. It will not work with a non-refrigerated truck. Then loading hatches on the farm. We've built a business based on loose box handling. So the average hatch on the farm is 50 by 50 centimeters, and we're pushing through those boxes. It takes 1.5, 2 hours to load a truck with 800 boxes. So start designing on the flower market. It takes 11 minutes to unload one truck. Can we set a standard that a Kenyan farm loads and unloads a truck in 11 minutes? That it's a keep cool machine, with or without a unit, whatever you find. I don't want to tell you how to do it. 1.5 degree. Dispatch at less than 2, deliver at less than 4. And I think currently 10-15% of Kenya's farms is working that way. But I think that is where these standards are there, and I think they're sound. They're supported by science, and we found them worthwhile for the business, achievable for anyone, and measurable. And I think that makes it that we can start measuring and start complementing each other.
What's the value of improving on this? You know, if the technology to improve on it becomes more expensive, at what point is it better to take the hit than it is to pay for the improvement?
I think there will be many people that will argue that the cost is too high. But we have a truck, and inside that truck for a 20-hectare farm, there's about 30,000 euro worth of flowers. A quality remark on an auction will cost you 3,000. So I think that once a week you have a 3,000 euro hit. A unit on the truck will cost you 3,000 euro. Put in monthly maintenance at 50 euro or 100 euro. That's 3,000 euro. That's, I think we can calculate the return on investment in hours. To have man-handling of boxes where we can do skids, 55 cents. Every box, 55 cents. Your customer is paying for it. We can provide them a solution on a skid, which will help you buy less boxes of better quality, which will help you one day to eliminate SFK, which will start your customer, every aircraft pallet, they save 150 to 180 euro. 2 aircraft pallets a day for an average size farm, 300 euro, times 365 days. There is a fortune to be unlocked there. But there's people arguing about, we've built a business that depends on correcting stuff that we should not have allowed to go wrong. And there is a premium solution available. Find that solution, but make sure that it's not spoiled early on or later on in the supply chain. Or if you have a fantastic end of the supply chain, don't let it mess up by being an anonymous shipment. I think understand your product. If you're sort of the lowest end discount and you're fighting for the last 1.1 cent, but even then, less handling will help you. And just imagine, labor in Europe is not going to become more available. It's going to be today's people in construction. They will get a 15% top up of their salaries. So labor next year will be another 15% more expensive. So even that way, we build a business. We survived 35 years handling loose boxes. It has to come to an end. Even though there's other players in the business announcing today that they're going to invest millions in automatic box sorting, I just can't see it work. The value is there. This business, when we were small, in 2000, I worked at TFA flower importers. We thought that this business was gigantic, 400 tons a week. Now we have 12 times growth, 1,200% growth in 20 years' time. Now it's gigantic, and our total freight bill on this airport is $500 million. I'm sure we can find a few percent, more than a few percent. There is solid money to be made in making your supply chain efficient. Thank you.